It's been a while now since I've actually played a big name AAA game, so it's been pretty freaking refreshing this week to spend my time with Transformers Fall of Cybertron. In 2010, High Moon Studios and Activision gave us Transformers War for Cybertron, which I found to be amazing. In 2011, they went a different direction and gave us Dark of the Moon to coincide with the movie launch of the same name, and I found it to be a letdown given how great War for Cybertron was. Luckily, High Moon is back on their game with Fall of Cybertron because I'm here to tell you, it's awesome.
Cybertron, the home world we Autobots have strived to protect from the Decepticons, can no longer sustain us. Eons of civil war have caused the greatest of casualties. Our planet's very core has shut down, halting its production.
Fall of Cybertron picks up shortly after the ending of War for Cybertron. The planet's core is shut down and there is very little, if any, remaining energy left to give life to its residents. This is the story of the final days of Cybertron, where the Autobots and Decepticons continue their civil war as they desperately try to find a way to escape the planet and find a new home, which of course we know by now is Earth. You probably don't need to have played the previous titles to understand what's going on, but it would certainly help. I thought the story was great, but for me, a lot of that has to do with how many classic characters are present in the game, which really set off my nostalgia nerd boner. Optimus, Ironhide, Grimlock, Bumblebee, Ratchet, Cliffhanger, Jazz, Warpath, Perceptor, Sideswipe, the freaking Dinobots, Insecticons and Combaticons, Megatron, Shockwave, Starscream, Soundwave, they're all here. And of course, the actors we've come to know and love over the years voice many of them, which is wonderful. Classic comedy elements from the cartoons are clearly visible throughout, which keeps the overall darker storyline from becoming too serious.
Funny, isn't it, Megatron? How easily I defeated the one adversary you couldn't.
Silence!
I decided to play this title on the PC this time around, as I heard some additional care was put into the title to emphasize some of the lighting, shadows, and texture of the Unreal Engine that today's consoles just couldn't handle. I ran the game with a smooth 60 frames per second throughout with the graphics maxed out, and to me it just looked beautiful. The environments of Cybertron really look neat, and you can tell a lot of care went into designing the characters. I did experience a few glitches though, where at one point my character's body was halfway into the floor, and another time or two I fell completely through the floor to my death. The cutscenes also looked a little fuzzy, like maybe they weren't rendered in full HD for some reason. Sound to me is a big deal, and when it's done right, it really draws me into the game. I played with a Razer Tiamat 7.1 headset, and the sound effects and music were intense and really immersive. The single-player campaign took me 8.5 hours to complete on the normal difficulty setting, which felt about right for both the length and the challenge. Unlike War for Cybertron, there is only a single campaign consisting of 13 missions that alternate at times between the Autobots and Decepticons. The character you play is also determined for you based on the mission, but there's a great diversity in the types of missions and the different types of Transformers, which keeps the entire ride fresh and exciting. The first and final missions specifically were rather enjoyable and really intense. The levels are linear but open. There are waypoints you must reach, but how you get there in the large open battlefields is up to you. There are also lots of hidden secrets for you to find along the way. I played the game with an Xbox 360 wired gamepad, which worked out of the box with predefined button mappings. The controls felt great, they were easy to use, and it felt natural to switch between robot and vehicle form. In fact, the controls were so intact that it made me feel like I actually was Bumblebee putting the beat down on those Decepticon fuckers. Combat in the game is quite fun. The Transformers simply have a lot of abilities available to them to keep things interesting. In robot form, you can wield a light and heavy weapon, commence melee combat, and use offensive and defensive consumables. Switching to vehicle form gives you a new set of weapons and a few abilities to get you traveling at high speeds. Each Transformer has a unique set of abilities as well. Optimus can call orbital fire from above, Cliffhanger and Starscream can stealth and assassinate, Jazz has a grappling hook, Vortex has a shockwave attack, and Grimlock, well, Grimlock is just a fucking badass. You earn shards from killing enemies and destroying boxes on the field, which in turn may be spent at the Teletran 1 store to upgrade and purchase your weapons, perks, and consumables. Hidden blueprints are scattered throughout the levels that unlock additional weapons as well. Once a weapon's purchased, any character in any mission may use it. There are also hidden audio logs in each mission that give some neat side story elements.
General evacuation? I thought I'd heard it all. Optimus expects us to turn tail and retreat. Not happening.
The PC version of the multiplayer component currently has a lot of problems, but Activision support website says a fix is on the way. Currently, it's really tough to get into multiplayer games, which is a huge pain in the ass. It also doesn't appear that you can form parties in the PC version, so it'd be tough to enter matches with your friends unless you wanted to create private games and fight against them, but to me, that's super lame. In the game's Escalation Mode, you'll face increasingly difficult rounds of enemies, where you play as characters from the game that you can't customize. You earn money from killing enemies, which may be spent in-game buying extra ammunition, weapons, and unlocking additional areas of the map. I'm not big on firefight or horde game types, so to be honest, I didn't spend a lot of time here, especially considering that the multiplayer wouldn't let me get in a game with other players at the time. Now, despite the multiplayer problems, the matchmaking portion is amazing. There are a few changes from War for Cybertron in the way the characters control and some differences in the classes, but overall it's still super fun. There are 4 standard game types that pit the Autobots against the Decepticons in a team deathmatch, territories, headhunter, and capture the flag. A decent character creation and customization system is intact that allows you to customize 3 different loadouts for each of the 4 different character classes and customize how each one of them looks. The Infiltrator is a highly mobile but low armor stealth class. The Destroyer is a medium armor heavy hitter that can deploy shields and that can hover. The Titan is a heavy armor badass with a shield, and the Scientist is your flying support class that can heal and place sentries. You earn experience as you get kills and assists, which allow you to unlock additional weapons, abilities, and upgrades for each class as you go. To me, this is the most fun portion of the multiplayer, and I found it to be implemented very well. I'm not gonna lie, this is the greatest Transformers game I've ever played. High Moon took everything that was great about War for Cybertron and stepped it up on all fronts. I thoroughly enjoyed the story, and to be honest, I can't wait to see if the developers will follow up on this and give us more great adventures somehow. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to get my ass back to multiplayer because damn, it's fun. Check out the full write-up and screenshots over at ZeitgeistGameReview.com. Stay up to date by following me on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to check out all of the other great gaming entertainment on the Game Station. Don't forget to subscribe and press the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.